Aquarius. Hope you're doing well for this August 2018 reading, but I know that Mars retrograding in your sign hasn't been an easy ride this far, so you'll be more comfortable with it as we're going through August, particularly when it retrogrades back into Capricorn, back into your 12th house. Maybe you'll be feeling a little bit of relief on the physical and mental level, but on the spiritual level, you might have sort of a deja vu. When there's a retrograde in your 12th house sector, it feels like deja vu because it's that spiritual side. And deja vu is, although it's a mental thing, it can very much feel like a spiritual thing. It can feel like it's something you dreamt before. It could feel like something that you had an out-of-body experience with. Those type of things are going to be incredibly common, and sometimes they're little signs to alert us to some sort of point, a point of fact that we maybe would have overlooked otherwise, a point of conversation where someone was maybe giving something away that you didn't pick up on the first time. That kind of energy. That's where you're going to feel, it's the 13th of August that this happens, and it will be there for the remainder of August. We also have, for 12th house energy, or second house energy, a full moon in Pisces. So that is the financial sector for you. That is the relationship you have with your finances. It's a relationship that you have with your self-worth, your self-value, your purpose. Now, a lot of signs seem to be dealing with second house energy this month. In particular, Cancer people are dealing exceptionally with the second house energy, so you may find some reprieve in communicating with the Cancer, and they may have a similar view of what's going on with the world. For the most part, though, it is your 7th house energy which will be affected this month, okay? So we're dealing with Leo energy, the sun in Leo, the solar eclipse in Leo, the new moon in Leo, Mercury retrograding in Leo. In your house of partnerships, as I say before, and I said this in the July reading, it's a lot to do with past partnerships returning. It's your relationship with even, people in society. You could run into people you haven't seen in years from school. You could run into people you haven't seen from a previous job. Communications with people. When you have a sun, moon, or rising in Aquarius this month, people are going to be coming back. And I know that some folk get very aggressive about this, especially in the comments. It's not necessarily that one ex where you're just going to be like, I would never let them in. It's not always that person. If that person did return, you can block them. You can, any measure or format to block this person out of your life, it can be done. It's not necessarily those people. My moon's in Aquarius. I've ran into so many people from the past that I forgot existed. And to a very overwhelming extent, so many. Okay, so it can be loads of people. It can be really pleasant surprises for the most part, to be honest. Reconnecting with people you haven't spoken to in a long time. Venus also moves into Libra, your sister sign, on the 12th, which is incredibly positive because that's 9th house energy, which is travel. So although Mercury is in retrograde, you may find that you have more unusual choices in romance, people that you haven't usually gone for before. You may meet someone from a different culture, a different country. You may learn things from these people. You may experience something you've not had before, something, holiday romance are aspected when Venus is in your 9th house, but it can also be forward-thinking people, people in politics, people that are university professors, people that have a higher purpose, which is an Aquarian, a humanitarian, you may really, really gel with. Someone that can expand your mind more than anything else, Aquarius. So enough about the sky. I'm going to talk about your cards. And also, as you know, we went into August under the energies of a full moon in your sign, whereby you may have had some self-realizations, some moments, I would say, some really in your feelings moments. And we begin with the Two of Cups, which is a romantic possibility, a romantic relationship here. Particularly when Venus is going through a sign like Libra, romance is heightened for a lot of people because this is Venus, Libra and Venus belong together. It's the home for Venus. Libra finds a home in Venus. It's where it belongs. It's the most romantic aspect that Venus can have is being in Libra. And the focus for a lot of people will be on romance, but a lot of the focus also will be on partnerships as a whole and how we react to society, how we negotiate contracts. A lot of political perspectives will be improved during this period because it's more agreeable here. It's crossed by the Knight of Pentacles. So some of you may be dealing with an earth sign. And now this is what's crossing you. So a Capricorn and Virgo or a Taurus may be crossing you somewhat in your romantic sector. Maybe you took a break from a person, or maybe you've been taking a time out from dating because it was more stress than it was worth. Perhaps you've been feeling particularly anxious regarding the future of a relationship, regarding the potential in a romantic partner, or just lying awake analysing what it is that they're thinking, or possibly what could go wrong. I feel like there's a little bit of a negative spiral in this direction. With Mars retrograding into your 12th, again, your dream analysis is very important. The things that you're dreaming about, pay attention to, maybe Google them afterwards. That's a lot of fun, is Googling your dreams. You can find a lot of real psychological meaning in there. You can maybe get some more perspective into your subconscious energy that you didn't realize was going on. Now, crowning you, we have a victory. We have a success with the Six of Wands. So that's something to be pretty pleased about, Aquarius. But there may be a need to juggle. Maybe a need to juggle your career and your romantic life. That can be a factor whenever the Two of Cups is crossed by the Knight of Wands. Maybe you're starting a new job and not giving enough attention to your partner or enough attention to your love life. And you're wondering, if you're single, why there's nobody there when you may not have time for this aspect of your life necessarily. Certainly, I think with Venus having been in your 8th house, you'll probably be finding that you were more conscious of your work and your money, your finances, and you maybe weren't feeling particularly in your element when it came to dating. Your financial situation seems to be what's been most important to you. Travel is aspected here again. So we have the 8 of Wands. So that can also represent messages coming through via the internet. Moon, we have hopes and fears. So you fear what is hidden. And the outcome, we have the Empress. So this is Venus and Libra. This is very much that Venus aspect. I feel like there's a new relationship coming in for a lot of you with the Empress here. A lot of you may be getting pregnant, maybe thinking about the next steps in committed relationships, marriage, family, those type of things that are important to you. I believe this came up for Pisces as well. So the Empress energy here suggests this Venus transit is going to be very favourable for you. And then we have the Libra card, which is Justice. So Venus and Libra is going to be well aspected for you, particularly if you're dealing with a Libra person. There seems to be a pretty good energy there for Libras. Maybe your moon's in Libra. If your moon's in Libra, I think this is going to be particularly well aspected for you. Oh, we have a Stray. Queen of Wands. The one that got away. Could be a fire sign. A Leo, an Aries, or a Sagittarius. I mentioned Leo quite a lot in the last reading because the sun is in Leo and someone told me to STFU about Leos, so I'll keep it quiet. Let's see. By the way, when we are doing readings, don't, anybody, not just for me, when someone is doing a reading, don't take the signs the signs that are offered as so literal for you personally. These readings are going out to a lot of people and everyone is dealing with different signs. It's just the signs that come up as the card. If Justice came up and I didn't mention Libra, someone would say, why didn't you mention Libra? If I mention Libra, someone says it's not a Libra. Don't take it so literally. It's more the energies of the cards. The Libra energy would be very balanced, getting things in perspective, which would come up anyway with the Two of Pentacles, finding balance in shaky situations. You may be going into the month having had a heartbreak or having had a third-party situation, which could have been work. Third parties aren't always people. It's crossed by Temperance, which is a Sagittarius card, but for me, Temperance is more about, again, this balancing energy, where two people maybe aren't seeing eye to eye in a situation, possibly very different perspectives to emotional communication. You may be dealing with somebody who is not forthcoming with their feelings, someone who's a little bit emotionally unsound. They may not be direct. They may use games and tactics as a way of expressing themselves or testing you as a person. The Sun is in the past position with the Four of Wands, Four of Swords, and the Page of Swords is here as well. So some of you may certainly be worrying a lot about an air sign or a Leo. I'm seeing it more in lines with a fellow air sign energy, or it may be your relationship with your inner child. Because the Page of Swords can represent you in your adolescence, even. Possibly some of you have struggled with anxiety and depression, or things like that when this comes up. Maybe you've been dealing with them since you were a teenager. Maybe some of you have had your heart broken as a teenager and you find a repetition of relationships beginning since then. Some psychologists believe that the first person that you go for in your adolescence as a love interest can sometimes, if it's been particularly negative, can sometimes repeat itself in your adult relationships going forward. So some of you may need to address a relationship like that. Someone who is quite cutting with their words, somebody who could be a little bit unreliable and a little bit unsteady, could have been in your past relationship here. You may be dealing with an Aries or someone that runs their own business, someone who's quite self-sufficient, someone who's very outstanding in their line of work, someone who's quite well-dressed at a minimum level for the Emperor, someone who's well-clothed, someone who's very obsessed with victory here, someone who's very obsessed with winning at all costs. You could be dealing with this person in work. They might be getting on your nerves because they always have to be right. It could be a relationship with somebody who is, again, always has to be right, always has to be the person in the big picture, one-upmanship, where they have to be doing something better than you are at all times. You know, you tell a story, they've got one better. That type of person seems to be featuring here. I do think it could be in the workplace with the Page of Wands as well. Queen of Cups, some of you are dealing with a water sign where you are thinking about long-term commitments, okay? This is for some of you. A water sign with the Ten of Pentacles where you may be wanting to invest more in this person. Maybe this person is investing more in you, particularly if you're dealing with female energy. You may have met a water sign that you view as long-term potential. So you're wondering where you can go with that. We have two eights side by side with the Eight of Cups here. So some of you are definitely traveling overseas, possibly for this person, possibly for work. You know, it could be that you're dealing with another air sign. You could actually be an Aquarius on Aquarius relationship here, from what I can see, with the Star card and the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is the outcome with the Empress. You could definitely, as I say, Libra is featuring very heavily in this, but it can represent Venus being in Libra. As it's the planet Venus, this is a very Venus dominant reading. So I'm thinking this means that partnerships and greater commitments and a purpose are going to be the highlights of this month for you, Aquarius. I would not have expected it any other way with so many 7th house planets. But certainly your relationships with fellow air signs are very, very well aspected. And that's not to say this may not be, as the moon cards here, it could be a moon in an air sign, a moon in Libra, a moon in Aquarius, or a moon in Gemini. Okay, so we have those signs. Hope is being renewed for a relationship with an air sign. Hope is being renewed for a romantic relationship in general, if this isn't necessarily one of those signs. I see with the Empress that maybe a love triangle gets whittled down into one, you know, just between two people rather than three. There was maybe an option before and it's being reduced. A choice is being made is the way I see it. Having to make a choice between two people. Maybe someone else is making a choice between you and someone else. I don't imagine as an Aquarius you would particularly want someone that has to choose between you and someone else. You would just be like, choose them. If you can't choose and it's not me first, then I'm not taking you. Because with the Star card here, which is your energy, I feel like you're more, you know, you deserve better. Okay, that's the way I'm seeing it. But there certainly is a romantic relationship here that's very well favored. Okay. Some of you are coming out of a long period of being single, and some of you are actually having a lot of success with an Aries or a Scorpio that seems to be in the mix here. Possibly someone who's quite financially secure, someone who's quite successful, someone who is entrepreneurial, someone who is confident. You're moving forward, and I think you are moving from a period of heartbreak with the Three of Swords, and then going into the Six of Swords, you're moving forward. Now, what is stopping you is the Three of Pentacles. So the initial growth has been harder than usual with Mars retrograding in your sign. Your self-growth has taken possibly a bit of a couple of setbacks, but it's actually for the greater good. You're taking these setbacks to review how you are growing as a person and maybe seeing where work needs to be done. As I say, déjà vu, you will pick up on things that you missed the first time around, is what I'm getting here. You had a Tower moment. This is in the past position, which is where we want to see the Tower card, particularly with the Four of Swords. It's rest and recuperation after a breakup or a breakdown. It's very well needed. Could have been a conflict. I think some of you have had conflict with other air signs, and you're actually reconciling your differences this month. There seems to have been conflict that gets reconciled with the Empress energy. Now, the Six of Cups is a reconciliation again, or people from the past, which, as I said before, Mars retrograding in your sign, Venus retrograding in your partnerships, it's inevitable somebody returns in some way, shape, or form. I'm feeling very much an Aries or a Scorpio person from your past, whether it be a lover or a friend or a co-worker, could be any, will reappear this month. Particularly if it is a Scorpio. Interesting. Nine of Cups. You're getting what you want. I think some of you wanted a reconciliation that appears. I think some of you wanted excitement more than anything. I think some of you wanted something exciting, but exciting in a good way, you know, good drama, not bad drama. I think some of you were quite excited to get this news that you're going to get this month. And some of you are definitely getting engaged if you are dating a water sign long term, because this is very favorable. This is an engagement here, or a progression in commitment with a water sign for sure. So some of you that are dating water signs can look forward to something very sensitive and very beautiful, I think, this month. Similarly, for those of you that are dating earth signs that may be long distance, I think some of you are traveling. Some of you are meeting your potential partners long distance, traveling, as I said before. It's well aspected. Libra 9th house energy. So some of you may be meeting somebody abroad if you're single, okay? Or long-term relationships are going to get a step up this month, because I'm seeing a couple of different factors here. I'm seeing some people having an Aries return that are single, where there's unfinished business there. Some people meeting somebody brand new to do with travel. So these are separate situations for separate people. And then water signs seem to be pretty well aspected as it is. You are afraid of being alone, though, for those of you that are single, but you're definitely coming into a greater period of self-understanding, self-forgiveness, and an understanding of relationships that you didn't have before. So I'm wondering, are the defenses coming down for you guys? Are you letting people in a little bit deeper? Because when I see these as a combination, I can't help but feel like you're letting more people into the softer core that you have as a person, because as the Queen of Swords, she can be quite defensive, she can be quite sharp. She's not so keen to let people in unless she can rationalize why. Whereas the Empress loves to be adored. Strength, has control over a situation. And the word grace, or even the name Grace, grace comes up as a, you know, in big capital letters for me. Grace and beauty seem to be the aspects most identifiable with this combination, I think. They're all three very beautiful women, and they all possess beautiful qualities. I mean, one has incredible wit. She's funny, she's intelligent, she can speak about any topic in the world. The Empress is very nurturing, she's very caring, she's very understanding, she's very motherly in her way. She protects the people around her. The Strength card has an iron fist and a velvet glove. She's very strong, she's very independent, but she's able to take command of situations, and she has confidence, and she isn't afraid to make mistakes. She's not afraid of this ferocious beast that could possibly eat her, devour her in one big go. She's not scared of that. These are very strong, very admirable women to have as an outcome situation. And I can't help but notice as well, in the crowning the reading, we have the Emperor, and as the outcome we have the Empress. So some of you are definitely undeniably meeting the person you're going to marry this month, or you're meeting the person that you're going to have a very satisfying relationship with. A lot of you are. For some of you, I think that are already in relationships, I see commitment going to another level. Maybe the Mars in Aquarius has made you reassess where you are at life and you're thinking of something deeper. There certainly seems to be building bridges between your relationships with other people. Possibly people you fell out with a long time ago reappear with the Mars energy and the Mercury energy. I think you guys, a lot of you have been going backwards and have dealt with what it was you needed to know, and then others of you are still there. You know, you're processing things that happened before. There's a lot of internal reflection and a lot of turmoil that gets smoothed out from past experiences. With the relationships being with others heightened here more than anything else, and then obviously Mars being in your sign, you choose how you react to these people that reappear. You choose how you react to these situations, and you choose what to do going forward. And I think a lot of you act in a way that is so impressive with the Strength card and the Empress that you will be very, very proud of yourself, and it will give you a boost in your relationships. You will have learned something very significant this month, Aquarius, that you didn't know before. And your relationships are blessed as a result. I think this Venus and Libra transit for a lot of you is going to bring in romance like you've never known before. I think it's going to bring in feelings that you've not had before, and a command over your own circumstances that you haven't had before either. This month looks pretty big for you guys, and I am very happy to tell you that. So I hope you enjoy that reading, Aquarius. I will see you in September for your other monthly reading. Bye.